Everyone, welcome to the Be Wild Yoga Studio. My name is Kaylee and this is Coda. Today we are out filming in Highlight Canyon just south of Bozeman, Montana. This is national forest land and it's also the land of the native people of the Crow, Cheyenne, and Flathead. While we're out here, we really want to make sure we're taking care of the land, packing out everything that we take in, and cleaning up anything else that we do find while we're out here. So if you are practicing outside today, please take a minute to pick up any little tiny specks of trash, anything big that you can fit in your car, and respect the land that we are borrowing from the earth and from these native people. This video is a 30-minute yoga for van lifers, specifically targeting the hips, hamstrings, and spine. We spend so much time all cramped up and curled up while we're traveling, while we're in our vans, or just sitting in a car a lot. So if you do any of those three things, please join me on the mat, step outside, and I'll meet you out there. Go ahead, Coda. Get comfortable, keep the knees bent, the heels just past the fingertips, the feet to the outside edge of the mat, and the knees fall in, resting against each other. Hands can be down by the sides or one hand on the belly. Begin to settle in, getting even 10% more comfortable. Let the mind slow. Begin to listen to the breath. Let it naturally deepen. Every exhale, letting the body become more heavy. Take the time to really be here and be present. Feeling sensations through the body of pleasure, noticing if there's any areas of pain and readjusting. As we move through this practice, stay connected with the sound of the breath. Listening is our most primal instinct, so to listen to the sound of the prana, the life force, emptying and filling our body is one of the most grounding things to do. Take as much time here as you need, becoming present. And when you feel ready, pull the knees into the chest, mapping the hands or the elbows around and rocking gently side to side on the spine. Laying on hard, flat surfaces is so good for our bodies, giving the spine the time to come back to equilibrium. Shift the hands to the kneecaps and circle the knees around, massaging through the sacrum, that bony plate at the base of the spine, being sure to go both directions. One more time around each way. And move the hands behind the knees, back of the thighs. Begin to rock forward and back, coming up to sitting. Rocking all the way up. And recenter here if needed, bringing the soles of the feet together, aligning the heel, the ball, and each of the 10 toes. The thumbs find the arches of the feet and slowly rub through from the toes to the heels, into the ankles and the calf, showing some love to these legs that maybe haven't moved all day. Interlace the fingers around the toes, using this as an anchor point to intensify the stretch through the hips by pulling the torso further down or rocking side to side. Find a way that this feels good in your body today. Making this stretch as intense as you would like. And when you feel like you're pretty settled here, allow the head to drop and the shoulders to round. There is so many emotions stored in the body, especially in the hips. Being aware of any story that comes up, any memory, noticing it and then letting it go. Two more rounds of breath here. On the third inhale, untangle the fingers, roll up, coming to sitting, lifting the head. Use the hands to fold the knees in, and then extend them out long. Oh. Shake the legs out for a moment. Coming back up to sitting, placing the hands on the legs and slowly sliding down, reaching from the collarbones first, finding a nice anchor point behind the knees, at the ankles, the toes, or folding all the way in half. Let the head fall. Chin into the chest and the shoulders round, bringing all of the stretch into the hamstrings. Every exhale sinking a little bit deeper, finding more comfort, or finding more flexibility. On the next inhale, release the hands, slide up the legs, rolling up the torso. Come to sit up nice and straight, and then pull the legs in crisscross to roll over the knees, coming into tabletop. Wrists right underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, and flow through a few cat-cows, any sort of intuitive movement that would feel really good here, making it as big or as small as you would like. Once more around if you're circling, meeting back in the center. Flatten the spine out, lengthen through the crown of the head, reaching long, lots of integrity through the spine. Tuck all 10 toes under, including the pinky toe, helping it find its way. Slowly putting the weight back over the heels, walking the hands in towards the knees, moving into a pretty intense arch stretch. So this is where it'll be the least intense. If you're looking for a little bit more, sitting up. We'll be here for 30 seconds. Sending nice cooling breaths down through the arches, all of those tendons that are firing. When you're ready to come out, slide the hands back down to the mat, and slower than you want to, untuck the toes, lay the tops of the feet back on the mat. Give a moment for all of those tendons and muscles to come back together, maybe tapping out the feet. Don't be afraid to make noise. Maybe sitting back on the heels or lifting the knees, pressing into the tops of the feet. Take as much time as you need to get all that blood back in. Then with the tops of the feet flat on the mat, sit back on the heels, coming back up to something more comfortable. Inhale, sweep the arms open wide, fingertips meet overhead, reaching up as high as you can go. And then release the left hand to the mat, reach over with the right, feeling a lot of space through the side body from the bottom of the rib cage to the top of the hip. And breathe here. On your inhale, come back through center. Releasing the right hand down, reaching over with the left. Inhale, come back up to center, flowing through this 2 more times, following the pace of your breath. Moving slow and methodically. Feel the sensations of your body. When finished, hands can find the lap. Bringing them down to the mat. Step the knees out a little bit wider. Begin to crawl the fingers forward, sinking the chest down into child's pose. When the fingers can't reach any further, allow the elbows to relax, the head to fall, and the chest to sink a little bit deeper. Breathe into this safe space that the body makes. Be here, feeling the structure and the support of the earth underneath. Two more rounds of breath, starting with the exhale to empty completely, and inhaling all the way to the top. Listening for your next inhale, lift the head so the forehead comes off of the mat. Begin to walk the hands out even further so the hips lift. They stack above the knees or are slightly back. The stretch of the fingers forward and the weight of the hips pulling back should create a nice stretch, lengthening through the spine. And then settle the forehead down, the chest, reaching for the earth. One more round of breath here. Activate the fingers, lift the head, walk the hands a little bit further in. Lifting the hips all the way up, pull the knees back into the center, and then tuck all 10 toes under. Lift the hips and send the heels back, sliding into down dog, pedal out the legs. Dip into each knee, the hip, and bow into the shoulders. Look up towards the hands and walk one footprint at a time up towards them, bending the knees as you get closer. With the knees nice and bent, the head relaxed, palms face up. Shake the head yes and no. Feeling some activation through the thighs, straighten the legs, maybe the hands lift off of the earth. Grab for opposite elbows and swing side to side, enjoying the pleasant sensations of stretch through the hamstrings and expansion through each of the vertebrae. Release the arms, keep the head low. Turn the whole body to face the long edge of the mat. And begin to heel toe the feet out. So they're a little bit wider than the hips, not coming into a full splits by any means. Just enjoying a nice pleasant stretch through the inner thighs. If you have blocks with you, the hands can be on blocks to create a lot of length through the crown of the head. If they can reach the floor, maybe turning the palms over, face up, can feel really pleasant for the wrists. Begin to walk the hands over to the right foot, bending into the right knee and sinking the hip down over the ankle. This can be as much or as little of a workout as you'd like, lifting, coming back up through center and sliding down the other side. To make this more intense, lift the body straight up over the hips, not using the hands, to bring all of the energy into the thigh, sinking back down, to make it a lot more relaxing and methodical, leaving the hands on the earth and the head low, walking back and forth. The heel could lift, it could stay on the ground, just depends on bone structure, so don't try to force anything that's not happening. This is pretty much all I want to do after a day in the car. One more time on each side. Meet back in the middle. And option 2, spread a little bit wider, taking advantage of the full length of the mat, coming into splits if that's in your practice, maybe moving into something like an inversion. Anything that would feel really good here. Make this practice your own. Spend some time here, but when you're ready to move on, heel toe the feet back underneath the body, slowly working the way back in. Finish with the toes facing out, legs about hip width apart. Bend into the knees and the hips, sinking down into Malasana or low yogi squat. The hands can come together, using this as a pressure point to push outward on the knees. Lifting the chest up, bringing the hands into the chest. And on an exhale, release the forehead, the third eye to the middle fingers. Taking a moment of gratitude, finding one person, place, something that you are so grateful for. Listening for your next inhale, lift the head, break the tension in the hand. One hand comes in front and one behind, and have a seat. Maybe turning to face the short edge of the mat if you have room, staying where you're at. The knees stay bent, lifting up through the spine, creating a lot of length here, reinforcing that good posture. Then round the shoulders, sink into the worst, most comfortable posture ever, and slowly roll down one vertebrae at a time. Extend the legs, plop down nice and heavy. In a car or while traveling, we're so often trying to accommodate other people, being small. Now is your time to spread out. Bring the feet at least as wide as the mat and the arms stretched out as long as you have space for. Coming back into contact with the sound of that breath. Pulling air deep into the belly, completely oxygenating the whole body. Begin to listen. Not for any noise in particular, taking in the entire presence of this space. Listen even more intently for the sound of your heartbeat. Place the left hand over the heart, the right hand on the belly, making physical contact with each of those sensations. Know that you are at home and safe in your body. Begin to watch the color on the back of the eyelids. Press the tongue against the roof of the mouth. And take a deeper breath. Bring movement back into the fingers and toes. Take a moment to stretch really long. Another practice in taking up space. Roll off to one side, making the way back up towards seated. Come back to a nice comfortable position here. Hands can be on the knees or palms together in front of the heart. To close practice, we'll take 2 full rounds of breath together, inhaling through the nose, sighing out through the mouth. To begin, completely empty of air. Inhale. Sigh out. Once more, inhale all the way to the top. Open the mouth and release. The light in me sees and honors the light in you. Namaste.